Okay guys, if you're watching this video, it means that you are currently doing Science Academy for the test that we just had this past Friday. What I'm going to show you how to do right now is several things as far as ways to best practices on how to get through a test and identify keywords and terms. But before we get started, I need everyone to make sure that their name is on the paper, the date and period, as well as they write down their original test grade. If you do not have your original test grade right now, take some time, go find it on GradeSpeed, and then come back to the video. Also, you'll notice at the top of the paper that you have, it says that you can only get full credit back if you highlight and analyze each question, which is what I'm about to show you how to do right now. All right, so let's get started. Number one is fairly simple, so we're going to skip that one. Number two, what we're going to do is we're going to read each question, and then I'm going to show you the highlighted keywords. You guys will come back to them later and actually work them out. So let's look at question 2. It says, based on the images of the karyotype below, what is the genetic disorder that this person has received? Or is it a normal person? Furthermore, is this person male or female? Please give the specific location of the disorder if one exists. Okay, so it asks you a couple of things. It asks you if this person is normal, and it asks you if they have a disorder or not. So I'm going to use my highlighter to highlight the keywords. So it asks, what is the genetic disorder of this person? So what is the genetic disorder? All right. Is this person male or female? And then we have to give the specific location of the disorder. Looking at the image below, we can see that yes, right here, we have an image. We have a mistake or an extra chromosome, trisomy 21. And looking over here at the sex chromosomes, we see that the 2 chromosomes are above the X, so that means that this is a female. Notice here that they ask you 2 questions. Something that I've told a lot of my students is that what you can do is on the side of your paper, on the side of the question, write out how many questions they're asking you within a problem. So right here on the side, I would just write a number 2. Okay? Let's move on to question number 3. It says, based on the following information, the Amazon rainforest is known for a plethora of flora and fauna. Inside the vast region of the rainforest, there still remains a huge amount of undiscovered species. One species that was discovered were the Coleoptera beetles. Green-spotted dominant G beetles are dominant over blue-colored beetles, which is a recessive trait. A heterozygous male is crossed with a blue-colored female. What percent of offspring will be homozygous recessive? Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to read back through it, and then I'm going to highlight. So what it should look like is this. The Amazon rainforest is known for a plethora of fauna. Okay, so this is just background information from here all the way to here. What we're going to do is we're going to highlight starting here with the important information. Green-spotted dominant G beetles are dominant over blue-colored beetles. So I'm going to highlight this, and then I'm going to highlight this part right here. Go ahead and take a second to do that. Then I'm going to look at who is crossed. I have a heterozygous male is crossed with a blue-colored female. Then this is where the question comes in. What percent of the offspring will be homozygous recessive? So I'm going to highlight homozygous recessive. Okay, So now that we've done numbers 2 and 3, we're then going to move on to number 4. So everybody flip over to number 4. Okay, I'm going to move a little faster with this one. Okay, I'm going to guide you through it. All right, so what you're going to do is you're just going to read, and after you read, you're going to then highlight. Okay, so make sure you read it in complete sentences completely first before you highlight. So suppose black hair is dominant over blonde hair. Brown eyes is dominant over blue eyes. So you have 2 traits here. That's the first thing that I would notice. The father has black hair, he's heterozygous for the trait, and brown eyes, he's heterozygous for that trait. And the mother is blonde hair and blue eye. The question is bolded. Anytime you see bold, that means it's something very important. Okay, so what percent of the offspring will be heterozygous for both traits? What percent of the offspring will be homozygous recessive for both traits? What I would first do is I would highlight the traits just like this. You have your dominant for hair color. Okay, you have your dominant for eye color, and you have your recessive for eye color as well. Go ahead and highlight those things. Next, you have those are your 2 traits. Next, you have the father has black hair, but he just doesn't have black hair. He's heterozygous, which is very important. And he's heterozygous for brown eyes, also very important. If you don't remember what heterozygous and homozygous and these terms mean, make sure you look in your vocabulary inside of your genetics vocab notes. All right, and it says that the mother has blonde hair and blue eyes. So go ahead and get that. That's all you need right there. That's the important information. Then you can answer the questions. All right. How many will be heterozygous for both traits is the one question. The second question is what percent of the offspring will be homozygous recessive for both traits. It seems like we highlighted a lot, but all of this information that we highlighted will be crucial in helping you follow through with your steps and filling in these 2 sections right here. So you need to make sure you need to get an extra sheet of paper to do these, because you'll need to draw a Punnett square. All right, you need to draw a Punnett square on numbers 3 and on number 4. All right, moving on to question number 5. Question 5 says, cell differentiation is critical during embryonic development. The process of cell differentiation results in the production of many types of cells, including germ, somatic, and stem cells. What most drastically or most directly regulates cell differentiation? This is all background information. Important, yes, but not very important necessarily to answering the question. What I would highlight is this right here. What most directly regulates cell differentiation? Next, question 6. The process represented in the diagram above produces a molecule that is complementary to the template strand of DNA. What type of molecule is produced? Where does this process occur in the cell? Once again, you see bolded words. Bolded words means that it's very important. I would highlight molecule produced, and I will highlight process occur in the cell. What and where have already been highlighted or bolded for you. So there's no need for you to highlight or bold those words. So now you're looking for the molecule produced, and you're looking for the process. Where does it happen? The location. 2 questions. Don't forget, write down the number of questions each question is asking you. So I would write a 2 beside this one. All right, make sure you're doing that. Let's move on to number 7 and highlighting the keywords. Number 7 says this. Explain the process of crossing over during cell reproduction. What is the result of crossing over? What type of cell experiences it? And during what process of cell division does crossing over occur? Furthermore, as a result, if all parent cells in the human body have 46 chromosomes, after crossing over has occurred, how many daughter cells will be produced, and how many chromosomes does each daughter cell have respectively? Whoa, this was a really heavy question. There are a lot of questions embedded within this, and sometimes that's done simply to confuse you guys, but I know that you guys are more than capable of dissecting it. So let's begin. First of all, Let's begin by skimming through and reading it over. We're talking about cellular reproduction. That's what we're talking about. It says, what is the result of crossing over and what type of cells experience it? So crossing over and what type of cells experience it. And during what process of cell division does crossing over occur? So I will highlight that as well. Because this question is so heavy with questions, I'm going to point out all of the questions that need to be answered. This question is very simple. It's not that difficult. It just asks you a lot of simple questions. Furthermore, as a result, if the parent cell of the human body, they have 46 chromosomes. After crossing over has occurred, how many daughter cells, this is your question right here, how many daughter cells would be produced and how many chromosomes would each daughter cell have? In this question alone, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 total questions in here, so go ahead and write a 5 on the side. That lets you know how many responses you need to have. Number 8 is fairly simple. I don't think that you need to identify keywords. You're just going to read the question carefully. Anything that's in parentheses, make sure you read that as well. Let's move on to number 9. It says a mutation has occurred due to toxic radiation. The original DNA molecule is 3' GAC 5', and the mutated strand is 3' AAC 5'. Only thing that I would do is highlight a mutation has occurred. That lets you know that you need to be looking for some type of change. Either it's going to be a substitution, an insertion, or deletion. You can also highlight mutated strand if you would like. Not that important. The most important part is a mutation has occurred. Number 10 says the picture below represents a portion of DNA composed of 4 nucleotides. What 3 components make up one nucleotide? I would have highlighted portion of DNA because that's what we're looking at. We're not looking at RNA or anything else. DNA. So that puts you in the mindset of what should I be looking for? I should be looking for adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine is what you should be looking for. All right. What 3 components make up one nucleotide? We talked about the question here. What 3 components? A component is a piece or a part. Right? So if you want to write that here, a piece or a part, what piece or part makes that up? And this is one question. Finally, question number 11. It says all living organisms have DNA. DNA contains the coded instructions for specifying the organism's characteristics. Explain how it is possible for a vaccine used to cure diseases in rattlesnakes to be used and can be used to treat a similar disease in humans. I would highlight DNA contains the coded instruction for specifying an organism's characteristics. It gives you the definition. Then I would highlight rattlesnakes and humans because that's what we are comparing. Guys, it's just that simple. Remember now what you're going to do is you're going to go back up to the top and you're going to answer each of these questions. You're going to read them first, then answer them providing your reasoning. To get full credit back, you must highlight each question. If you have any concerns on how to do this, rewatch this video. Good luck, guys. And remember, taking your time is what's going to lead to success.